morning. I'm Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, and we're here this morning gathered because we have an important public safety update for our community, and joined here with several different leaders, including DPS Regional Director Jason Taylor to my right, as well as Harris County Fire Marshal Lori Christensen, also to my right, as well as different members from the team. And I wanted to invite many of them as a representative sample of the collaborative work that we've seen throughout this case. We always work collaboratively. DPS, for example, is an amazing partner to us. They do phenomenal work helping us suppress violent crimes, as well as the Fire Marshal's Office doing different investigations as well, and of course our different units. The lead investigator on this has been Deputy Thomas Turner with our Violent Crimes Unit. That's been the lead on our side, but again, it's been a combined effort. And so we're very pleased to be here to provide this update. At 7:50 p.m. on July 4th, a day of celebration, the Harris County Fire Marshal's Office made us aware of a car fire near a gas station near the intersection of Ella Boulevard and West Mount Houston. 2 young children had suffered serious burns along with their parents. On Sunday night, Byron Rivera surrendered to investigators, and he is now in jail on 4 counts of aggravated assault. We believe that this all stemmed from a road rage incident, and want to point out that it's also our understanding throughout the investigation that there was some time in between. This incident didn't just happen bam bam. There was actually a little bit of time, maybe it stretched for about 20 minutes or so. And so at various times there was possibly an opportunity for both parties to disengage from this. So again, just a reminder, and I'll touch on that towards the end, that we're seeing more and more road rage type incidents occurring in our community, and we don't want that. People end up getting hurt, and it's just not safe for anyone. We know that tempers are hot, and or the temperature is hot and leading to tempers to be short, and people want to take the law into their own hands. It's never a safe thing, and we saw here where, again, our main concern has been to the 2 children that have been severely injured and face a very long recovery. It's our understanding that the family members that were injured are stable for the moment, but again, they face a very long recovery, especially the 2 young children. And so, that's very difficult. Also want to say that in the process of the investigation, that the investigators did recover a weapon. It's an AR-15 that is consistent with evidence that we found at the scene as well. I say that we found a weapon because we still need to do our firearms follow-up investigation and make sure that we go through the proper testing and all that. So I want to make sure that, again, all the information we're providing today, including that, is just still preliminary. The last few days, it's only been a few days, it's been focused on trying to identify the gunman in this incident, and so we've successfully done that. And so now we're going to just continue to connect the other dots and make sure that we complete our follow-up investigation. En español, brevemente, el día 4 de julio, un día festivo en nuestro país, la oficina de la Fire Marshal, que se encarga de incendios y diferentes investigaciones, nos avisaron que como a las 7:50 p.m. de esa noche, que en la área, en una estación de gasolina, que había un incendio que había comenzado en un carro cerca de la intersección de West Mount Houston y la Ella. Reportaron que una familia, pero incluyendo 2 niños, 2 pequeños, estaban heridos con sus cuerpos estaban con heridas estaban un poco quemados. Entonces, nosotros comenzamos nuestra investigación. Esta ha sido una colaboración entre la oficina del Fire Marshal, también con el Department of Public Safety y también con muchos miembros de nuestra organización del Harris County Sheriff's Office. El oficial Turner es el investigador principal. Anoche se entregó Byron Rivera por estar involucrado en este incidente como el sospechoso, y se le ha puesto 4 cargos de aggravated assault. Nuestra investigación toda sigue procediendo, todavía hay diferentes aspectos de la investigación que se tienen que terminar. También recuperamos una arma de alta capacidad, un AR-15 que fue encontrada también. Tenemos que darle exámenes adicionales para ver si en realidad es la arma que fue usada, pero está muy consistente con lo que se usó esa noche en esa escena. Y también le avisamos al público que por favor usen precaución. Parece que este incidente, antes de que comenzara el tiroteo, tomó como 20 minutos para estar entre dos carros, dos personas que iban manejando. Entonces, usen precaución y usen buena conciencia de no estar en estos tipos de incidentes. Sabemos que las temperaturas están altas y el temperamento de gente a veces es corto, y entonces es muy importante que usen precaución. At this moment, I'm going to just let Fire Marshal Christensen get up and just give a few updates. They were the first ones that kind of alerted us to what's going on, and she went to the hospital as well that night.
Thank you, Sheriff. Lori Christensen, Harris County Fire Marshal. With me, I have my Chief Investigator. The origin and cause of the investigation is ongoing, and Chief Weston and his team are working continuously with the Sheriff's Department and other officials to ensure that this investigation continues. They're active out on different events today, and so we expect to have more updates as we work with the Sheriff and his team. They're reviewing videos and physical statements and physical evidence and things like that throughout the day. Just want to say that our prayers are with the children who are going to be undergoing surgery today, and we will continue to give information and work with the Sheriff's Office and provide information as one unit. So again, Chief Weston and his team will be out there working with the Sheriff's team, and I want to thank everybody for this collaborative effort to get this resolved. Thanks, Sheriff.
Yes, and to Chief Christensen's point, our thoughts and prayers are with the family as they go through a very difficult recovery process, and again, especially the children above all. We've seen way too many incidents where children are getting hurt in our community. I said recently that it's unacceptable, and for a variety of reasons, we've seen children get hurt and get caught in violent situations in the middle. And again, these are innocent children. We all take it personally as fathers, as being members of this community, and as lawmen. We never want to see our children hurt, and we're going to work extremely hard. These men and women that were involved in this organization worked tirelessly over the holiday. Their plans are disrupted as well. Their time with family is disrupted as well, just working around the clock, because these are dangerous situations. There was a very high-powered rifle that was used in this. That always concerns us in the community as well. And so again, kudos to all of them. That's why I wanted them to be here. Others could not be here as well. I want to thank publicly the dispatcher as well. That takes the calls and has to manage all this. And then also the Good Samaritans as well. We plan to do something for them publicly at the appropriate time, just to recognize them, because while many stopped and were actually trying to film the chaos, they actually stepped up and led and help get those individuals to safety, and that could have really made a big difference in making sure that no one died as a result. And so we want to thank those young men as well for their, restoring our faith in humanity as well, that there's many out there that step up and help when needed, and just want to thank them as well. Lieutenant Stauber, did you or the Deputy Thomas want to say? Go ahead. I'm sorry. This is the...
I'm Lieutenant Jeff Stauber. I'm the over the violent crimes unit, and I'm just going to circle back around just real quick and some of the things that the sheriff had touched on. The collaboration with the Fire Marshal's Office, DPS Violent Crimes 2A2, the CCD unit, and the multi-agency gang task force were integral in us. As the sheriff said, we have worked tirelessly through the holiday up until yesterday, pretty much around the clock on this case. Anytime children are involved, as the sheriff alluded to, it's our job to protect these kids. And it means a lot to the investigators and everybody that is standing up here. Everybody was focused on, we got to resolve this case because of these children. I will say that this started as a road rage incident. Both parties had an opportunity to break it off somewhere during the incident, and then we had the actual incident with the injuries to the children and the shots fired at the vehicle. Having spoke with the suspect and his family, I will say this: the family of the suspect was very, very cooperative and very supportive. They too had children, and they let it be known that it was very important. The suspect himself needed a couple days to collect himself, as he put it. But the fact that those children were injured, it was very important for him to come and talk to us, which he did voluntarily. And hence we're here today with more investigation to close up some of the other parts of our investigation. It'll be ongoing for a little while yet, but today successfully we got another weapon off the street, and the individual that did this is in the Harris County Jail.
And while I'm thankful that there's a successful conclusion to this point, and the individual did come forward and has been cooperative, and in fairness to him, he has shown remorse about what happened, especially about the children. I don't want it to be lost, the tremendous follow-up work that the teams here have been doing, because they were hot on his trail. They were going to locate him whether he came forward or not. So it was just a matter of which way it was going to be. And so, glad it worked out for everybody, because we always want, again, a successful, conclusion to these things. And working while we still carry heavy hearts due to the loss of Deputy Diaz recently. And so, again, it's difficult, but, they were focused on the mission, and that's what we do. And, ask you to also keep the Diaz family in your prayers as they mourn the loss of, one of our own, a fellow brother in law enforcement. And while we're still working actively on the case of little TJ, Ivory, the 2-year-old, as well, in spring. So we're going to stay on it, and we're not going to give up until we find them. And again, very glad recently that some members of this team as well worked to resolve the situation in East Harris County with 11-year-old Cameron as well, that an arrest was made in that case. And we're still working on that one as well, because there's still some other loose ends we need to tie up. But just in closing, again, when we're out there, please, let's try to have a better driving safety out there. Please be patient out there. If somebody starts honking at you, just get to the side if you can. Try to avoid continuing the escalation of any incidents. Si están en un incidente donde la otra persona está molesto con ustedes, el otro conductor, por favor, traten por lo menos ustedes de usar paciencia, háganse a un lado si es posible, traten de no tener intercambio violento con la persona y todo eso, porque muchas veces, la gran mayoría de veces, esto termina mal. So again, we have another road rage incident, again, that members of the team have been working on, where in West Harris County that, they're still trying to locate the person of interest in that case as well. So just be patient out there, while you're on the roadways. Any questions?
Sí, una pregunta en español rapidito, y se lo quiere decir en inglés, pero aquí los únicos inocentes que no tuvieron nada que ver en esto fueron los niños. Entonces, cabe la posibilidad que los padres también, porque también ellos, si tuvieron algún incidente con este señor, este muchacho, él ya se entregó. ¿Cabe la posibilidad que alguno de los padres reciba cargos?
La pregunta es que realmente los dos inocentes en este incidente fueron los dos pequeños, y que ya se identificó y se presentó el que fue responsable por los disparos, y si tal vez los padres pueden correr riesgo de algo de responsabilidad. The question was that the true innocent in this type of situation is the two small children that were severely burned. Obviously one party, the suspected gunman, has come forward, and could there be the possibility of the parents somehow being implicated, the other ones? No se sabe todavía. En este momento lo estamos tomando como que son víctimas también, porque pase lo que pase en un argumento, pues nadie tiene el derecho de disparar dentro de un carro en una manera así tan agresiva. Entonces todo eso es parte de nuestra investigación. Queremos ver una foto completa de todos los hechos que pasaron, pero como decimos, siempre hay mejor decisiones que se pudieran hacer antes de lo que pasó, pero aún así no hay excusa de que le disparen a alguien más. Entonces eso es realmente nuestro enfoque. Si algo más sale a luz, pues ya veremos en ese instante qué es lo que pueden enfrentar. Pero en este momento No. My response to him is, look, there's always opportunities for two parties to make better decisions, prior to getting to a situation like that. But with that said, we do have a suspected gunman. And so, regardless of how things went down and transpired, there really is no excuse for anyone to fire upon a vehicle like that. And so that's our focus right now, is just we'll try to paint a fuller picture on what happened. If anybody has information, we still ask them to come forward. If there's other witnesses, we know there were a lot of different onlookers out there at various stages of this. So we would like to know better what happened. But what we do know is that, at least for now, there was only one suspected gunman. And if something develops at that point, then we'll respond accordingly. And that'll be part of our follow-up investigation, which I prefaced earlier, that there's still ongoing and there's still additional things that we need to close the gaps on.
¿Saben si el sospechoso tenía conocimiento que iban los niños también adentro, que iba toda la familia?
La pregunta es si tenía conocimiento el que disparó, si había niños o su familia dentro del carro. The question is did the shooter have any understanding that there were children inside the car prior to this happening? Lieutenant or Investigator Thomas, Turner, I don't know if you want to.
Deputy Turner with the Sheriff's Office of Violent Crimes. When we interviewed the individual, he numerous times said he didn't know that there was children in the vehicle when the incident was taking place. He just thought it was the male and the female.
Do we know what was this argument about? Do we know?
So what we know right now, it was just a road rage. Somebody cut somebody off in traffic.
That was it.
That was it.
And can you detail the span of, 20 minutes where it seemed like they were somehow still engaged? Are there any details there?
Too much fire. I guess
We
still need to interview some folks.
Yes.
Yeah, so we know that there was a span of about 20 minutes. What I was just trying to convey is, sometimes things happen in an instant. Someone opens fire all of a sudden, and there's really not something prior. This seems to have gone on for an extended period of time, about 20 minutes more or less. But we still have some additional follow-up work that we want to do just to better understand that timeline before we get out there and say this is what happened. We do know that it appears that it was some time prior to it where, again, cooler heads could have been prevailed most likely, but we still got to firm that up a little bit.
Can you comment on whether or not both parties kind of provoked each other, or was the gunman following this family?
Again, it stemmed from some type of initial road rage incident is what kind of gave this, got this moving, and it seemed to extend for about 20 minutes or so back and forth, and then there was a brief pause, and then they kind of reconnected again, and then it just kind of continued. So that's still, the timeline is still what we're working on. I think there's been a lot of moving parts to this investigation. Again, it's only been several days. So that'll be part of what we want to tighten up as part of our follow-up investigation. And of course, the family has been trying to recover for some very serious injuries. So we had to also give them pause to go through the medical treatments and that. So we still got a lot of work to do. This is just really to announce the arrest of the suspected shooter.
Rivera had children in his car as well.
I'm sorry?
Rivera had children in his car as well.
It was just him?
Him and his girlfriend.
Okay. It was just him and another female.
Can we just ask one more question
go
about
ahead.
your deputy?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like anything at the scene that he was responding to, the domestic violence scene, may have contributed to his medical condition, or?
No, we don't have any reason to believe that anything as part of his, follow-up investigation that he was assisting on the call was the direct contributor to it, to his health situation. So again, we'll give an update on that when we have more information on it.
We got a tip that the father had lit firework inside the truck, which contributed to the explosion. Is that accurate?
We don't know. As the fire marshal stated earlier, that's part of their investigation to find out exactly how it ignited. It was a high-powered rifle that was used. So all those are factors that we need to look at more closely, and they're taking a deeper dive into that aspect of it. That's why there are partners on that. Is what actually ignited, how did it go about, and so that'll be a part of our follow-up investigation. Yeah, we don't have any specific detail yet as to how it specifically lit, other than there was gunfire into the vehicle. They had fireworks and they ignited.
Was there a confrontation at that fireworks stand? Do you know?
Where
right down the
it
street?
started?
It's a traffic issue.
It was a traffic issue.
Someone got
yeah.
over in another person's lane, and from that, that's what started it.
But then,
It's a simple
All right,
traffic.
folks, we're done. Thanks.